About reviews on the internet from people you don't know. First of all, if they didn't like this story, it just wasn't for them. It doesn't mean that your story was bad. If you've poured your heart into that and you know it's a good story, if it went through development editing and you went back and forth until both of you liked it, if it went through the copy editing and they liked it and they tweaked it to make it better, and then the proofreader condoned it, and then you send it to your family and friends and they liked it, that's all you can do. So when someone gives you a 1-star or a 2-star and they come up with every single reason why not to like this story, it's not about you, it's about them. It's where they were in their own life's journey when they read your book. And let me tell you something, if someone gives you a 1-star review, if they have read your book from cover to cover, if they have watched your movie from minute 1 to minute whatever, and they sat through the whole thing, and then they take the time to get online and write you a terrible review and 1 star, let me tell you something. You touched on a nerve on them that they didn't like, and they're reacting to that. Your story's not bad. They were in a bad place and they didn't like what you brought out in them, and that's what they're reacting to, and you got to keep that in your head when you're reading your reviews, because you're going to get bad ones and you'll have 24 great reviews and 1 horrible review, and that 1 horrible review is the one that you're going to remember. It's okay. It happens to all of us. I wouldn't be worried about 1 stars and 2 stars. I would rather see a 1 star or a 2 star than a 3 star. If someone just puts a 3 star on there, it was okay. I don't like that. I want to see 4 or 5 stars, or I want to see 1 or 2 stars, because I know if it's a 1 or 2 star, it was good because it got them and they didn't like it. The only time you need to be concerned with negative reviews is if they say this and you know they're right, and that is when you promise them one thing and you deliver something else. For example, you promise a love story, but you deliver a self-improvement story where all the characters are going through self-improvement journeys and there's a little romance thrown in there. If you're writing a thriller and you're advertising it as a thriller, it needs to be a thriller. It doesn't need to be a Hallmark story. Another example would be you write a nonfiction self-improvement book, but it's really incorporating a lot of theological premises, and the person that's reading it is not religious at all, and they really go after you about it. It's not because you wrote religious text, it's because you didn't give them what you promised you were going to give them. You do things like that and they leave you a bad review, and I'm not trying to be mean, but you and I deserve that if we do that. Just give them what you promised you're going to give them, and you should be just fine. If you don't, they're going to feel like it was traditional bait and switch tactics in advertising. Most people will like what you read or create if you advertise it in a certain genre because they're a fan of that genre and you gave them what they wanted. It's when you break their trust, that's when they become the most unhappy. And lastly, on this part, you will get silly negative reviews. I remember my story, Alabama Irish. Someone gave it kind of a low rating and they said the main character's voice did not sound authentic. I'm sitting there thinking, he grew up in a poor area of Alabama and he goes out to California for grad school. And right before he did that, he got to visit New York. I'm from a rural town in Alabama. I spent my first 24 years of my life there. I went to Manhattan, then I went to Pepperdine for grad school. I'm pretty sure the voice of the character is authentic. I'm pretty sure. And the reviewer wasn't even from Alabama. Do you see where I'm going with this? You wait and you consider the comments, but then you move on. Just move on. Crank out your next story. Don't waste your time dwelling on that stuff.